Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 430th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, April 28th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today. And once again, we are joined by Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who will be delivering today's teaching and knowledge of the universe. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin?
Yes. Good morning. Good day to you, as usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute worldwide. We welcome you back to the teaching. It's nice to see the transcripts being done in English simultaneously, but it's nice to see sometimes he makes some mistakes and changes everything to what he likes. Maybe we don't need the instantaneous transcription till these transcripts are corrected, because now it stays on the screen. If you like to switch off the transcript, if it's allowed, and then the team of transcribers will do that in the background, Rick, if it's possible, because there's a lot of mistakes in the spelling and it stays on the screen for good.
Okay, I'll turn that off then.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what the team of transcribers in Philippines do for us. They go through this and correct their mistakes, and then they add it on. Thank you very much. If you want to write out the last piece, okay, that's good. First of all, I would like to go back to what we started early last time. We have achieved our target. Thank you very much to so many of you. We had another hiccup in past 48 hours. With the help of one of the knowledge seekers, thanks to him, we are sorting that out, and the process will be completed hopefully by next week. It takes us time to get these things done. I thank many of you. Small donations to small loans to large loans. We managed to reach the target, but we had a small hiccup or a big hiccup which we could not resolve. And I asked one of the knowledge seekers who's been solid behind us to help the situation to elevate it, and he immediately responded without more or less a second of thinking. I thank him personally and many others who've been there to see this process through. We've been told we should achieve our goal, what we started, where the Keshe Foundation has put all its support, financial and resources in past 6 to 8 months to achieve this. It's important for us to get to this. It's the basis of international one nation, one race, one planet. We've been led down by one of the knowledge seekers very badly, but that is what's to come, to test, to understand. But on the other hand, a lot of us got tested. We achieved what we set out for. And as I said, once the funds are returned to us to start our program, all the knowledge seekers who send us the donations as a loan will be immediately paid back. We will announce the list of the donators unless you don't want to be known, and what was put and what was given in return. We have a solid backer who's been behind the foundation in a background, but so much in the front. He's been with us solid, and he's made sure everything we ever needed was there to be done, even putting everything he had on the line. I thank him personally. And it's for him to one day announce who he is. We have solid backers, those who understood the knowledge and understand what the knowledge will bring. In this process, hopefully in the next few days and a week or two or whatever, when we solve the new problem, which hopefully is solved, we already received the first part of this morning, will allow us to plan things out. Again, Keshe Foundation does not disclose its plans for it to be stock, but you will see us emerging in a very big way. Setting up of its own international structure takes time. We have, as I said, consulted many groups, many expertise, And we have made a decision in how the Keshe Foundation wants the assets as a joint venture received and done by you and us. We plan how to do it. My idea is very simple. We had experience. We went to the knowledge seekers. We trusted the knowledge seekers that they can do everything. And we found out in Nigeria, what they call it in Ghana, and then in Italy, we have knowledge seekers who are devoted, and those who are not knowledge seekers are coming and rob the foundation. And those who pretend to be the knowledge seekers, they come in and rob the foundation of millions and millions. And those who've been inside helping them, telling them exactly how to rob the foundation. In this case, Keshe Foundation has made a very clear decision. We build the institutes and we bring the knowledge seekers, and an expert team in the institutes will advise the physicality of how to build the factories, physicality of how to structure the new research and development. But running of the factories, running of the research centers, running of the management and commercialization will go to international organizations and companies without knowledge seekers. Unless there are knowledge seekers who are expert, and the groups and the companies we have brought in accept them to be in that position to be employed in that capacity. So we have separated the knowledge and the management altogether. The new management has no clue for the Keshe Foundation and the gas technology or space technologies. They know how to manage it to efficiency it has to be. And knowledge seekers know what the knowledge has to be, and not they make decisions the correct way all the time, but they make the best decisions. And somewhere between the two, the factories will be set up. The hospitals will be set up. The institutes will be set up in conjunction with the management, international management, and the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers. We think this is the best way for us, and we have started this process. So when we start this process, it'll be very clear, transparent. One of the leading, what we call human resources companies in the world has been engaged to see this through. You will not be employed through the Keshe Foundation. Anybody comes in, you're employed through, is one of the largest human resources agencies who knows they are headhunters, they know what they are doing in setting up everything from the cleaner on the floor to the heads, directors, and CEOs. This allows the Keshe Foundation to concentrate on what is good at, research, development, bringing new concepts and new technologies, and running of the factories, and the rest will stay with the international team of management. Our subsidiary, Markray, will be supported extensively by the Keshe Foundation, as we are the shareholders in arranging with the new CEO and the directors of the Markray. We see our work solid. We'll support the Chinese operation rapidly as to bring this position of the what we call work. We had to put everything on hold. We could not support 2, 3, 4, or 5 projects at the same time, but see this merger of the what we call growth to be done. Now that we have hopefully achieved it, now we go back. We rapidly invest in Chinese. We are committed to the Chinese government. We are committed without doubt in expanding our work in Beijing, in Xinjiang. We are committed to the work of President Xi. He has a vision which is our vision. He has a global vision to bring peace and prosperity, but with a solid strength of knowledge. We have reached out to the government of Israel to create a condition of peace. And we hope the new Prime Minister of Israel will respond favorably, as we have seen in the tentative what we call contact. We could not negotiate with Netanyahu because we knew now why, as he used the reactor of the Keshe Foundation to say it's Iranian nuclear bomb. That's why he was ashamed to be found out. Now he's found out there is no room for his allegations. We see a massive peace opportunity in Ukraine. The investments of the Keshe Foundation will go mainly to do what is mainly has been brought out of the situation in Ukraine. You look at the Ukraine as a massive disaster. I look at the Ukraine as a massive opportunity for humanity, change of course in many, many directions. Let me explain to you why. Then you understand in much deeper how we think, how we are. And what we see with our new process once it goes through will bring changes. Ukraine and Russia, especially Ukraine, is one of the main manufacturers of the base fertilizer material for the whole of Western Europe, or most of the world. With the situation which has come in Ukraine, we see huge increase in what we call agricultural product because the fertilizer has become very expensive. And at the moment, very hard even to attain. The way I look at it, the way we are investing and the way we'll go, the new CO2 capture systems, centers in cities like Tehran, in cities like Los Angeles, in places like New York or London, or as we open more and more of these, become the center that each nation produces its own fertilizer, natural byproduct. Now you can see how we look at it, using the opportunity. We'll concentrate, we'll discuss with you what is our target in the next few weeks, that it will not come. Ukraine will not be able to come back into operation for at least 2 years. We have 2 years gap to show the new technology, new way to create products without all the side effects. There is a huge gap in that market, and we see it. It needs multi-billion investments. And Keshe Foundation has managed to secure works that we can allow us to bring these kind of things out. There are more opportunities out of Ukraine. We are standing there. You look at it as a war. I look at it as a point when the two conflict. What is the benefit for humanity? We've seen that Vatican is pushing very hard in Ukraine, and we see Russia is not relenting. It's sad to see the loss of lives. And as I said many years ago, many months ago, we will see local skirmishes. Ukraine is containing Ukraine, but even though it's creating mayhem and a mess in the country, is cleaning the path for the future of mankind to be. We have seen many of you are worried about what happened. Ukraine will not go much far. It'll stay in the position it is. This was a test for the zone will become an international accepted market. This was part of the plan of the Ukraine to bring BRICS into operation, and BRICS now functioning as the Western Europe cannot pay with the dollars and the rest. They have to buy rubles. They have to buy yen. They have to buy the BRIC currencies, and the BRIC as one structure has enforced itself as an international organization in the past few days, past few weeks. So we can see the advantages when it comes. The backing of the dollar has fallen. The backing of the euro has fallen. We've seen dollar and euro reaching more or less parity, which hasn't happened for over 20, 30 years. This is crippling you, what we call the European nations. But we have to be there as a new technology to show the new ways, the new understanding. This has brought us a lot of change, and this is where the Keshe Foundation concentrates, to be there to create new conditions to change of the course, what I called the plasma revolution. What we bring it, what we show it, and we have received enough support from you to be able to do it over years, and now we are at a stage further in making the international structure. In respect to this, I thank you all for your rapid response last week. We still need help. It's not finished. Once we receive what we were paid and came to agreement with, then we inform you. But it doesn't mean just now we raised part of the help of you for a week, everything stops. I have supported out of private accounts, private financing for past 20 years, the Keshe Foundation. I never came to public to ask for it. It's there if you want to donate. Just because we do a small part doesn't mean the support has to stop. The foundation needs a continuous support to be able to stand, to be independent. All our companies, all our factories will be 100% owned by the foundation. Does not matter how big a support in the background, which means nobody can dictate our operation. Nobody can dictate how, where, and the way we develop this technology. We're still on target for June flight system. Hopefully the reactors, the final base will be completed in the next few days and we can refuel to start testing. We are ready to keep to what we said. I thank especially John in Arizona, who's been there to see everything done that Arizona can be parallel to Austria. We'll bring the systems on. I thank our team, especially in what we call Austrian backing, with Klaus and others in the background solidly standing, making sure everything goes on. We have made a new announcement to all of you to know. Keshe Foundation, with the agreement of the management team in Austria, we are opening the Keshe Foundation Exhibition Center on Saturdays for workshops. This should start from first week of June. These workshops are how to make pottery with ganses in it, that you can create everything you want from it. Paintings with the application of the ganses. Sculpturing with the application of ganses. Making perfect GANS systems. Making perfect MAGRAP systems. Making and using the technology in agriculture. We expect these to start from somewhere around about the 4th of June. And this will go on as much as possible every Saturday, maybe sometimes on Sunday. We have board Mario, who's been the backing of the Keshe Foundation in German translation for years, to run the exhibition center. He's there and we are taking booking. A new, what we call, email has been created for you to book to come in, to be there, to see and to learn and to expand. Go to the place, it should be on different channels of the Keshe Foundation, to be able to book yourself to go to the exhibition or book yourself to be part of these workshops. Some of these workshops will be in a space level technology development. We announce it. They have put the price of 300 or 350 euro for the, what we call, for the workshops, and you can book in advance. Maximum capacity is about 15 to 20 people. And in a way, when you come, you see the exhibition. And after that, or during that, when there's something happening, you're cooking the pot or you put something in the oven, lunchtime or in the afternoon, somebody will take you around as you came in for not the, what we call the workshop, you get the tour of the exhibition as the others do. We see this as essential to be able to spread the knowledge. And in the future plans, this will be done in a very extensive way. As some of you been through the exhibition, if I'm there, always try to come and say hello. And if we are in the capability to expand this to other positional conditions, we will do. This is important for us now that these workshops run primarily by the Keshe Foundation and kept and looked after by KFSSI. Our management team in the background has been standing behind our solid, Wang Lin in China, Chanlin in China, Ella, Stanley, and the rest, the whole team of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. In Arizona, we've seen relentless work from John. We've seen Rafael. We've seen our team in Mexico. We've seen Naz, what do you call it, Lisa and Jim in Australia. We've seen the Philippine team standing solid behind. We've seen Alex in Nigeria standing and solid, trying to carry on with the work he started some 3-4 years ago. The work does not stop. We see Alex in Canada and the American team continuously expanding the work. We see Yusuf in Tehran, and with the backing of the, what we call the twins, Azan and Hassan, they're keeping the back end of the Iranian teaching online, plus the factories which are coming online. Iran will become a center of production and export of the Keshe Foundation materials. Very soon, all the pens and the magraves you receive as you order will be manufactured in the factory in Tehran. We do not need to produce much more to be in competition. It's much practical to make it the way USEF has done. They have moved into a new premises, offices has changed, expanded, and the factory is on the same way in Tehran. This is what Keshe Foundation is. It's you and it's us as you. And this is where we're going. Last week, we had to come to you because it was crucial. And you stood by us as you've done for years. And hopefully now we go through the new phase. We are not looking at what happened in the past. We are looking what the future can make. I see a lot of positive moves in Ukraine. I see a lot of positive moves. What's happening between Saudi Arabia and Iran. We see a lot of move in Palestine. A beautiful decision has been made by the state of Israel to communicate and open and break the bridges open that everybody can do everything with the Islamic world. This is taking time, it takes time, and this will bring a lot of fruit. The first meeting in Israel for the other nations, Arab nations, in the foreign ministry level, brings a lot of good time. We invite Iran to join this. Iran has to join us. I advise the Iranian leadership find a way to bridge the gap between Tel Aviv and Tehran. We need to bring peace, but peace comes out of the work of the Keshe Foundation and the nations where we can deliver the technologies that can bring the change. I thank you a lot in what you've done for us in the past few days, past few weeks, and you're there solid. And I said to other knowledge seekers in the past few days, I wish I would have gone to the foundation long before than just doing it on my own and backing it for years, step by step. But the last step counts, and that's the last few hundred, tens of thousands, which we needed to bridge because we used all resources, made a change. We tell you as it happens, and we tell you, we won't open our books that the others can plan to sabotage. We tell you what is happening as it happens, that you can support us to achieve what we're going to achieve. I thank you for last week's support. Still support. It's not finished. It's 7 billion children to look after. And they're all naughty children, and they have their own mischiefs. Thank you very much, as I said, for what you've done. Do not stop the support. We are not here at church to make a bill. You will not see any Keshe Foundation churches and mosques and whatever and temples. Our temples is our institute, and where we deliver knowledge. And that's where it should be. The temple of God should be the knowledge of the creation and not the muse of the creator. Thank you very much. We go ahead with teaching, and we'll start the process of the teaching. You heard in the intro, Rick said to me, can I play this intro? I said yes, because somehow it's connected to what is going to be taught today. And as usual, I don't know how he gets it, but he gets it right most of the time to produce the right intro for the right teaching. In that process, we go back to part of the intro. We spoke about the soul. We spoke about the soul of physicality. We speak about the magnetic field connections. We've done this partially in the past. Maybe we put a new light to it. And many of you who are making magas, many of you who are trying to make systems, make a sense of it. Or maybe you look at it with a new, what I call a new eye, new direction. In all our teachings, we speak about a connection between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man and the physicality of the man. One question to ask you is, how do they communicate with each other? How do the soul of the earth communicates and stays in touch in a magnetic field strength with the other stars, with other galaxies, with its own mother planet, or with its own mother, what we call sun, the creator? How do galaxies aware and carry the information where to be, how to be, in which direction I can move? How do we get the clashes of the stars and galaxies together? In a way, how does the universe communicate? What is the bandwidth? Is not there, as you're sitting in the car, another car comes and you go, beep, beep, horn, don't come, I'm coming. And if it doesn't hear the clash, a galaxy cannot beep, beep, and horn to the other galaxy, I'm coming, can you keep away? Because we are mayhem, we started somewhere else with 2 speeds, you might crash and we crash. But how does and how do universal systems interact with each other? How do you, in a plasmatic condition, but in a matter state, for you to better understand, when you put a magnet on the table, informs the other magnets that I'm here. Who wants to join me, jump in, or who wants to keep away, move away, and I want to keep this soul, keep this new position. In the body of the man, we always speak about amino acid. In the amino acid body of the man, we always spoke in all our teachings in a very simple way that the body of the man has a combination, a simple combination of, or a lot of you like to call him Mr. Cohen. This character, this structure is applicable everywhere. You need a line of communication. You need something to hold to. You need something to create, release energies, and you need something to store the energies. Why do you give nitrogen fertilizer? Because nitrogen is the storer of the energy, and when it comes in touch with the amino acid, it delivers, and you get the plant to grow. What happened in the other processes of what we call amino acid? This one is the gravitational field holder to keep everything together in the structure in conjunction with the other cells. In the what we call galaxy work, we call it a black hole. In the universe, we call it the central universe line. Nothing has changed, it's the same structure. In the universal language, in the universal work, we see the same. We have a source of energy, which this energy allows the particles, as they release their energies, what they don't need, to create motion and field of existence for the rest of the galaxy. But the most important part for today's discussion is this little chap. In the body of the man, in the amino acid, the carbons are line of connection between the amino acid and other amino acids. They carry a strength that in the spectrum can connect to any combination. We use it as a sugar, we use it any other combination of materials we need. Without a carbon, without a cognition of the carbon, we do not have what are called connections. We have no line of communication. So what, when, and as we become knowledges of the universe to be added to us, we have to understand what this little chap does. How does it behave? And how come in one strength works in your soul, in one strength soul works in the soul of physicality, and in one strength works in what I call matter state or manifestation state, the body of the man in a Gansa state. And in another state becomes the matter state, as in the bone of the man, line of communication. The carbons don't just pile, the calciums just don't pile on top of each other to make your point, your bone and everything else, and be in the center of every cell you have. They are organized. They have a strength of the carbon in them dictated. So how do the universe, where you have the soul in the other direction, in which carbon level of the universe we work? And is there a carbon connection level with the creator? Is there a common ground? Is there a need to understand which frequencies to listen to? You want to listen just locally, listen to the long wave, you want to listen to around in a better distance in a medium waves, or you want to go and get as much as you can go far, you go on the short way. And then you have the others, FM and the others and the others. We have to understand this to be able to work. If you don't understand this structure, as I see none of you up to now have understood, you're in a big mess in your work. Let's go back to an example. All of you make these funny looking things, a lot of springs, twisted wire called magnets. None of you succeed, and I keep on telling you guys, there's something you're missing. None of you understand. What are you missing? Energy doesn't come to if you don't show it where to go to. You cannot have water on the plant when the hose is lying on the floor and water tap is 20 meters away. Water doesn't jump from the tap into the pipe to the plant. You have to connect the pipe to the, what you call the tap, and you have to direct the other end to the plant to receive the water. You have the plants as magra, you have the tap as a universe. You don't see, we're giving you the pipe, but you don't know how to connect it to get it. And that's why you're all in a mess with magras. And we have an elite secret organization, which is run by Jalal, to make a new magras. How can you get rid of thirst when you have no water? But you can see the glass of water. You have to reach your hand out to get it to satisfy the thirst. Where is your connection to the universal field forces that you can tap into? You haven't got it. You're making a twisted magra. You take some wires, you nanocode to use this and that. Where is your carbon-14? This works around carbon-14 and other levels of carbon. This works around between carbon-14 and 13. This works between carbon-13 and carbon around about 12.5, and in a matter state, you have carbon-12. When it comes to this guy, the creator, you need a special understanding of what we call crystalline carbon-14. That is a different knowledge of the creation. So, Mr. Jalal, and your team, which I see in the background, trying to get this secret society of magra making, have you sorted out your tapping to the universal energy? Because here you're sitting on carbon-12. You have to find a jump. Then your magra will deliver you megawatts of energy. Then your system sticks out and knows where the energies are to give and to take. Then you understand, when I explain to you, we're giving you one of the most powerful generators, but I give a Rolls Royce to a toddler in the cot, but I give him the key. Can that toddler in the cot drive the Rolls Royce? Just because it's got the key, because he thinks, oh, this is something nice to put in the mouth. The toddler is your team, and the Rolls Royce you built, but you don't have the key. You will not succeed unless, in totality, you understand this process. And none of you, in past 10 years of teaching, 15 years of teaching, ever understood this. I went to you in teachings as far back as deuterium, the building block of carbon, the building block of, in teaching, talking about deuterium and carbon-14. In essence, it's the same. What is the essence of connection with carbon-12? How does carbon-13 works? And how does carbon, which is sitting on the line of communication of the matter state of 12? Till you do not solve this, you go nowhere. Nor in your space technology, nor in your transportation, nor in magraphs, nor in growing of the cell of the body of the man, nothing. Because you don't know how to communicate. It's no use me teaching on a short wave and you're waiting on a long wave. You switch and you play the pedal or the knob, and then you get where I am. You have to understand this switching. Then you can connect to any line. You have to understand the process of connection. Because if you do not connect, you Mr. Cohen, doesn't matter in what dimension, can communicate with the others and function. I made man in the image of myself, even in the construction of the communication, in the structure of the building, energy transfer, and everything else. It is not just a face, it's not just the emotion, it's the process of interaction and creation and connection is the same. So, gentlemen, you've been making magraphs for years, and I've been telling you, you're looking for the peanuts, you're looking for the crumbs, the cake is sitting there. To get to the cake, you have to understand this process, how to connect to universal energy system. That your magraph system becomes a transformer, translator, and deliverer of any energy level as you like. These magraphs create energy. We never put so many kilowatts, so many things. We say as you need percentage of. 1 kilowatt, 30%. 100 kilowatt, 30%. 4 kilowatt, whatever. Have you noticed? The same machine gives 30% if you use 1 kilowatt at home. The same machine gives 30% of 100 kilowatts. So this machine can create 30 kilowatt, but you're using a 300 watt of it. Have you noticed how much you have not understood? You tell me, give me a 5 kilowatt system. I give you the same matter. If you use in the house 1 kilowatt, you get it. But if you use 15 kilowatts, I give you 5. You have a 5 kilowatt because I give you 30% of it. How many knowledge seekers miss something in the technology and understanding? Haven't our knowledge seekers who are building these systems misunderstood the whole concept of the line of communication between them and the universe? The interesting point for me has been for weeks and months. We talk about the soul of the man. We talk about you going out and getting in touch with whatever you want to go. Then we talk about the soul of physicality of the man. Then these two communicate somehow. And then somehow this communicates with the soul of physicality, with the physicality of the man. Somehow they communicate too. But what happened? Where did you miss the line of information? How come you get psychosomatic when this one connects to this one? And uses what we call emotion. And then comes physical emotion. Then how and where does this connect to other souls and to universe? Isn't this in reality what you all missed? And somewhere in your body, when you die, you have another dimension to this, which is very simple, your physicality, where in fact it brings you to carbon top. Long wave, medium wave, short wave, and FM. But because of the structure of the system, sometimes in this process, because you have a common denominator, you still get carbon 14, line of communication. Change this one in a very simple way to, instead of this being the physicality of the man, and this one being the soul of physicality of the man, and this one to be the soul of the man, and this one to be the man, in the matter state, you're born. Play a game. Make this the earth. Make this what we call the matter state of the earth, the inertia. Make this one the magnetic field of the earth. Make this one the sun. Make this one the galaxy, and then so forth. Nothing has changed. We're still in that bandwidth, Mr. Cohen. You have to understand the knowledge, not become the monkey. Monkey sees, monkey does, because monkey never looks over his shoulder to see what other monkeys are doing that better than them that they haven't understood. Then you call them aliens. You call them men from the deeper space. They looked over their shoulder. They understood this connection. They understood the line of communication. You cannot go to a party when you put a tape on your mouth and you cannot speak. and they tie your hand behind your back and you cannot even sign. You just walk like a lunatic in a wedding. And it's the way mankind and most of the work of the science has been, because they don't want to see the truth. They don't want to see the light. They don't want to understand the work of the universe. We understood how the gravity is. We understood how the gravity works. But how does this gravity field connects to another star to understand its position? Cannot be anything but the line of connection of deuterium or carbon-14, because the universe works on these frequencies. Now you understand. When I explain to you, I have given you the most powerful energy system, you all laugh. Mr. Keshe's system doesn't work. But hold on, guys. The same magnetic system you connect to the house, you have 12 kilowatt usage, you get 4 kilowatt. The same magnetic system you take to your mama's house, but uses 3 kilowatt, you get 1 kilowatt. You take it to the son who's young and has a lot of electronics, he uses 30 kilowatts of energy and he has 10. And you say, Mr. Keshe, can you give us a 5 kilowatt power supply? Hello? Have you understood? This one, because it needs more, has tapped into universal energy. This one needs this, has tapped into the house energy level. This one is working from what it comes from other electronics in your body. Haven't I given you the 5 kilowatts you want? You have a 10 kilowatt. But you have to understand this process. When you need, I give. Good morning, Jalal. Good morning, the whole hidden team of MAGRAP system. I watch all your communications. And sometimes I literally roll on the ground. Guys, move on. Haven't you understand? Haven't you understood the process? Now you understand. You had a 5, a 10 megawatt, kilowatt energy source with you from the day one we made the first one in Trent or in Ballet. But you're still looking at what I call DC human energy. You can tap into terabytes, tera megawatts of energy in the universal current. I'm sure John is pulling his hair up in Arizona. Why the center of every planetary system, every being, every structure in the universe has a material. In its amalgamation and division creates hydrogen and tritium. Hello. I have to know what is available in the universe that I can create this position, that I can create what I need. How I position myself as a deuterium, and sometimes I create the tritium, that I can absorb energy from the whole universe. What is the function? What is the position of, in the matter state, extra neutron? Giving energy. Isn't that what tritium is? But once it gives, it needs a line of connection. Actually, many of you knowledge seekers, if you wanted a good maggraph system for the home, you should have made a Ganser fertilizer than making all these Gansers you make. I've said that many times, but you don't listen because it's got so much nitrogen in it. Now, tomorrow, you'll all be making Ganser fertilizer. But be careful, some of them's got a lot of rubbish in it that you don't need and can cause you more problems. But that's not the answer. Understanding the science of interaction of the fields is what we are looking for. Doesn't matter if it's called calcium in the English language, Diridada in another language, Barabru in another galaxy, and Diridram in another universe. Understanding the work, the effect, and the need for what energy levels, what it is, which one holds in, which one gives, which one takes, and the rest of it. And which one stays in communication with all three, what to give, when to give, and where to give. This is the knowledge that you have to understand, and I keep on telling you for a long, long time. Move away from matter state, understand the interaction of the fields, you find a key to the work of the universe. You stick to what you're doing. Maybe your great-grandchild, maybe your great-great-grandchild, when they deviate from your way of thinking, because you did all the bending, they don't do any bending because they realize a beautiful thing, then you see the understanding is all the same. It's all how, what level, which energy level, which magnetic field strength you need that you can apply to it. You don't get the donkey to fly, and you don't put a load on top of a jumbo jet to take from one village to another. As we say in English, horses for courses. A flat runner cannot do jumping. Now I understand the totality of the science of communication of the universe. Without it, you are crippled. Without it, you can go nowhere. Without it, you are where you stood in the village of the man for millions of years. But sometimes when you go to sleep, that extension in the back knows everything is, knows how to connect, and goes for a ride and said, I had a dream. The reality, the process of the creation for man is as simple as ABC. It's for man to decipher it. It's for man to understand it, for man to extend it. I promise you, if our hidden scientific group understood this and could apply this, they would announce they have a 5 kilowatt maggraph power generator of universal energy. Then you understand your maggraph system is the backbone of your flight system, because then he knows where to attract, what energy is where to be, and creates your condition and position. It brings you to the right frequency, to the right channel. You want to listen to FM Radio 4, you want to listen to FM in a long way. You have to understand how to match it. If it is FM with a mixture of long wave, or is it FM on its own, or you just want to listen to the long? You can, if you understand, have an FM in a long, medium, and every other frequency you like. It's just that you don't have the knowledge. You cannot do. It's like what I said when I went to, I was asked to give a conference talk in German by the Schneider family. And this guy came as a doctor and showed us a battery. A machine says, I get more out than I can put in. Shows a battery and says, this is what it says, 12 watt, but I'm doing 30 watt. And I asked a question, excuse me, sir, why don't you tell people about the AC side of it? You just show the DC. That was the end of the teaching for him. And he became one of our best knowledge seekers for years and years. What is the process of understanding? What do we understand from this knowledge? And how do we go to apply it to when we need it? Do we need the energy to absorb? We use the oxygen or gravity. Do we energy to keep to stop overheating? We use the hydrogen. We need to find a source that we can rely on. We look for nitrogen. But we communicate between all of them through the same source. And if you look at it, it's a star formation all the time. There's no better star formation than the amino acid of the body of the man. You have a hydrogen on top, you have a nitrogen, you have a carbon, and you have a body called oxygen. Each one sitting on their own. Then you understand, I gave you universal magnetic system from day one. Some of you, with a small trick that you don't understand, and I see in magnet making, you create that connection to the universal. And if by accident happens, you say my magnetic system gives 80% and 100%. Polish people, unknowingly, they touched it. I think it's important. And when they went to the ice cream factory, they said that they couldn't repeat it. They cannot repeat it because in production, they made a small, unknowing move of construction, which tapped into universal energy. I've seen 2 or 3 people being able to, this is my maggraph I have at home, I don't need electricity. Oh, it never happens, it's a lie. But unknowingly, the guy made a condition to tap into universal energy. And when I look at their design on the paper, it's the same as your others. But when I asked them, can I have a picture of the system? I said, unknowingly, they tapped into universal energy. You know, we have a beautiful saying, Farsi. We say the secret is in blowing it. It's the foot of it. What we call foot means blow. A guy working for a master potter for years, making the pots, putting in the what we call the oven, bringing it back, and always being black because they always use charcoal. After 30 years, the master wants to retire. And he says, you've been with me a long time and you've seen everything, you know what to do. He says, but there's one secret I don't know, is every night I leave, all the pots are black. When I come in the morning, they're all white. If I find out how to change the black to white, then I found everything. And the master says, when I wake up, I just blow the dust off. It becomes white. But he's never there to see that the blowing of the dust. But the master knows 30 years he hasn't understood this yet. And it's exactly like our knowledge seekers. And if accidentally would have touched it, they would have seen the white sits under the black. You are the same. You make the macro systems, but you haven't understood. And some of you by coincidentally, and some of you in a way of twisting your wires, make sure you receive no energy from the universe. And you think you're doing so good. If you cannot tap into universal energy, you can do as much as you like. And sometimes when you force it, you get something out. But the whole process is to really understand the process of the creation. One is, in reality, if you understood it, the aura. One is your hydrogen. One is your, what you call nitrogen. And one is your carbon. One give, one takes, one supplies, and one keeps everything connected. This is the secret of the creation in the universe. Be it the cell of the man, being creation of galaxies, being the structure of the life of the creator in his family. I made man in the image of myself because man works exactly the same as I do. I give, I take back what they don't want. I supply continuous energy from me and a connection between me and them. It comes back what I need to take, what I need to give, and then it comes and goes. But don't forget, in a very, very simple way, have you ever noticed this? I get 30% reduction on my house, which I used to use 30 kilowatt. I get 1 kilowatt. It's not good. I still get 30%. I get 4 kilowatt. It's not as good as yours, which you get 10. No. What you need, I give 30%. You have a 10 kilowatt power generator. Your other problem has been, how do I change this field of the energy from AC universal to man-need AC, DC universal to AC man-need in the mattress? None of you will succeed in no shape or form, in no dimension, if you don't understand this and don't understand how to create it and don't understand how to use it. I want to go to Mars from Earth. I need to know what's happening in Mars. And the only way I have is through the line of communication of the carbon-14 or deuterium. Or am I still working on 13.75? This is the beauty of understanding and knowledge. This could be Mars, this could be another galaxy, this could be anywhere else in the universe. And this is how the magnetic fields of the universe connect and keep separate. That's why when you put a magnet on a table, what do you see? A line. One is 13.75, one is 13.76, one is 13.4. But what is even the structure of the magnetic field inside? What is the secret of creation? Why some of it come this way and some of it goes that way? How is decided? How is it behaved? This is the story of the magnetic field, the line of the connection to the Creator. I teach you one. You're not ready for it. So I hope you learned a lot today. I hoped that with the teaching of today, especially the knowledge team group will go one step further in understanding the process of the creation and totality. You do not know if there is somebody behind the door. You do not know if there is somebody behind the mountain. You do not know if there is somebody in another galaxy. If you don't shout at the frequency and the strength that they understand, and they can shout back. You can shout as much as you like in this room. Remember the story of the dog and the whistle? You whistle a lot, but nobody hears except the dog, because it's in the right strength, fearless, and ability. That's all he said. Nobody hears the departure of the soul of the man except the owl, which the noise of the departure is so harsh that it makes it cry and it sings. You want to be the dog to hear matter, state whistle, or you want to be the owl to hear the voice of the soul. You have to find that strength. You have to find that knowledge. You have to understand it, not define it, because I always say to my children, when you understand, you don't need to remember. Thank you very much for today. And we go to a break and we come back and see where the knowledge takes us. Thank you very much, Rick, if you want to go for a commercial. Before we go for a commercial break, if you are artist, you have an art which you can use, to teach the others, glassmaking, which can use as what we call Ganses or anything else which connects to our technology, send a message to the Keshe Foundation. You are given the classes in the Keshe Foundation Center in Nets. If we can cover your cost plus that you have an earning for a day, join us to teach the others the science. Some of your teachings will be recorded. That is not only 20 people will learn, there will be millions of people will learn as the television station is getting extended to go for full broadcast, live broadcast, and recorded broadcasting next month. As I said, the structure we set up is not just for the Keshe Foundation development of factories, so for the teachings, television stations, and the rest. And what I call public understanding of the technology. If you're an artisan, it doesn't matter, even if you're a professor in chemistry and you see a structure, you make concretes, you make anything, you say, I want to teach. Book your time with the Keshe Foundation, info@keshe.foundation. Say, this is what I have. I would like to know if I can teach maybe once a year, maybe once a month or whatever. Come to links. Or in the future, go to our institutes and we put classes for others to come and learn from you. We teach you free, and it's your responsibility to share the knowledge freely to others. You hold back, the knowledge gets cut off, and you become a cabbage. Just you grow without any sense of direction. Man grows when the man shares. And doesn't matter if it's a state of wealth, in a state of knowledge, in a state of understanding the creation. Thank you very much, Rick. Let's go through a break and we'll come back and see what we can answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, we'll be playing a few of the Keshe Foundation videos here in the next few minutes and be back shortly.